Hello, this is Julie Candler with the BBC News. Israeli settlers in the occupied West Bank have set fire to Palestinian houses, shops and vehicles, killing one Palestinian man after two Israelis were earlier shot dead in the same place. Yusuf Taha has more details.
The violence took place in the village of Hawara, just south of the city of Nablus. The Palestinian Red Crescent said it was treating nearly 350 people, many of them from smoke inhalation, but also gunshot wounds and stabbing. Residents have accused the Israeli security forces of helping the settlers carry out the revenge attack and preventing ambulances from reaching the scene. Video footage shows many properties completely engulfed in flames, which are dispelling the night darkness. Last Wednesday, Israeli forces launched their deadliest West Bank raid in nearly 20 years, which left 11 Palestinians dead in Nablus.
The latest West Bank unrest follows a rare meeting between Israeli and Palestinian security chiefs at a Red Sea resort in Jordan. President Biden's top Middle East advisor and Egyptian officials were also there. They discussed measures to quell the current wave of violence. Here's Yolande Knell.
It's remarkable that after almost a decade without direct peace talks, the two sides said in a statement that they'd work towards a just and lasting peace. With anxieties high about an escalation in the Islamic holy month of Ramadan, which begins in late March, Israel made a commitment to stop discussing new settlement building for 4 months. In return, it's understood that the Palestinians will not take action against Israel at the UN. No details were given about what would be done to prevent further violence.
Within hours, however, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tweeted that there would be no freeze on settlements. The Palestinian militant group Hamas has called the summit worthless. Nearly 60 people trying to reach Europe are known to have drowned after their boat sank in rough seas off southern Italy. Officials said at least 12 were children. The governor of Calabria region, Roberto Occhiuto, said his region needed help from the rest of Europe.
È una giornata di lutto per la Calabria.
It's a day of grief for Calabria. This is a struggle that falls into a general indifference. Calabria is a region that welcomes people. Last year we welcomed 18,000 migrants. But we can't be abandoned by Europe. This type of tragedy should have been avoided the day before it happened, and not lived out how we're living it today and how we'll live it again tomorrow.
The first results have been announced from Nigeria's tightest election since the end of military rule in 1999. The governing party candidate, Bola Tinubu, won in one of the party's strongholds, the southwestern Ekiti state. More results are not expected until Monday. The election went more smoothly than previously polls, but delays and attacks on some polling stations meant voting was postponed until Sunday in some parts of the country. World News from the BBC. Tens of thousands of people have taken part in protests across Mexico against government plans to slash funding of the National Electoral Institute. The largest demonstration was in Mexico City. Organisers said that 500,000 people had taken to the streets nationwide. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador had argued that the Electoral Institute is a corrupt and partisan body. The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, is to meet the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in the UK on Monday. A joint statement said they would work towards finding a solution to the dispute on post-Brexit trading arrangements for Northern Ireland. The UK wants to change the Northern Ireland Protocol, an agreement with the EU under which certain goods undergo customs checks when entering from elsewhere in the UK. The Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar welcomed the meeting.
It's not the case that a deal is made at this stage. There's still some more talking to do, but it is a very good sign. And most importantly, if it is the case that we can get an agreement on the protocol, it allows some positive news and positive development for the Northern Ireland economy in particular, but also puts EU-UK relations and British-Irish relations on a much more solid footing.
The authorities in the Brazilian state of São Paulo say the death toll from the floods and landslides that ravaged the southeast of the country last week has risen to 64, and that 18 of the fatalities were children. A search effort is continuing for one missing person. The Oscar-winning film producer Walter Mirisch has died at the age of 101. He was best known for overseeing the production of classic films such as Some Like It Hot, West Side Story and In the Heat of the Night. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, whose president he was for many years, described him as a true visionary. BBC News.